I love the Resident Evil franchise. It's always been a favorite of mine, especially Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was the very first Resident Evil that I have ever played, and when I did, I soon fell in love with it. I have replayed it multiple times and beaten it countless amount of times. There's always something to play it on as well, like GameCube, PS2, Wii, PC, PS4, and many more. So once I thought I played all there was to it, I found a preview disc at one of my local shops, and I was very surprised. I haven't heard about a preview disc for Resident Evil 4 at all, so I was very eager to get home and play it, and it was like a whole new way to play the game. It was just fun to spot all the differences from the final version to the preview version, and that's what this video is about. So let's jump right into it. Jumping right into the preview, there is no opening cinematic like in the final version, explaining the events in Resident Evil 2. The preview just shows a black screen with white text that explains what is going on. As I was curious, I checked the inventory screen, and it was way different than the final version. The final version is more of a case to put your stuff into as best as you could. The preview version is more on line of the inventory of the older Resident Evil games. There's a nice picture of Leon there to the right. You also might have noticed that the knife is in the inventory. And yeah, it's not equipped to a button. You have to manually select it like in the older games. You can't move items around either. If you get an item in your inventory, it stays where it is in the inventory for some reason. Also, the map is different. It looks more like it's hand-drawn than the final version. Here's a picture of side by side of the final and the preview version of the map. Leon's health bar is a bit different as well. Instead of having bars like we do in the final version, in the preview version it's just a full line. It's a little detailed, but it's noticeable. Also, once Leon gets hit and it drops to yellow, he doesn't hold his side like he does in the final version. He stands like normal. One thing I noticed right away is that the voice of Leon sounds different than he does in the final version.
Excuse me, sir? Excuse me, sir? I was wondering if you might recognize the girl in this photograph?
¿Qué carajo estás haciendo aquí? ¡Lárgate, cabrón!
Sorry to have bothered you.
Freeze! I said freeze!
I was wondering if you might recognize the girl in this photograph?
¿Qué carajo estás haciendo aquí? ¡Lárgate, cabrón!
Sorry to have bothered you.
Freeze! I said freeze! No dejes que se escape! Vayan por detrás.
Who are these people?
¡Bloqueale el paso!
What are they planning? Chainsaw. Shit.
¡Te voy a matar!
Son of a...
Vayan por detrás.
Who are these people? What are they planning? Chainsaw. Damn it. Son of a...
It seems to me that they weren't finished with the lines or something and threw in the first take line. Which is fine. It's interesting hearing a different delivery to these lines. The gun sounds also a bit different as well, as they sound like real guns in the preview version as they do in the final version. Some items aren't fully made yet, so when you pick something up, There's a 50% chance that some text will just appear instead of the item spinning, explaining what you got. Instead, it will just tell you. You also have some new gems in this preview version. For one, we have the Onyx Stone in the game, to which I thought was a replacement for the spirals, but they aren't because I found an Amethyst Stone small instead, with a large one coming from the Chainsaw guy, instead of a ruby like he normally gives. So I don't know where the Onyx Stone comes from, but it's still cool to see a new stone. Also, Hunnigan is not in this preview for some reason, and I guess the only thing left is to say the game looks unpolished, but I mean, that's kind of expected for it being a preview. You also can't save, which makes sense, but why even have the typewriter here then? The preview only lets you go as far as the church bells ring, then it shows the title and then it's over. This is a piece of Resident Evil 4 history, and even though it's basically the same game for what you play, it's still pretty neat to play a copy that is still in a rough state. And that's pretty much the end of the preview disc. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and take care.